The American scientist and polymath V.S. Ramakrandan spent a good portion of his diverse career working with patients with phantom limb syndrome. What phantom limb syndrome is when someone loses an appendage, say a hand, and they experience an intense sensation of pain or paralysis where that limb once was as if it were still there, hence the name phantom limb. What Ramakrandan did, and I encourage you to Google this because I'm going to describe it very rudimentarily for the sake of time, but he created an apparatus out of rope, pulleys, and mirrors that essentially allowed his patients to create an optical illusion. By manipulating the device and their own arms, they were able to look at, for instance, their hand that was missing and perceive their other hand, their intact arm. And this simple act, this visual stimulus, actually cured their phantom limb pain instantly and permanently. Now, aside from the profound implications that had for their individual lives, Ramakrandan recognized that there was serious implications for our understanding of the concept of pain here. He wrote in his notes that pain was an opinion that the mind has about what it is experiencing. Now, how does that relate to my topic, mastering emotional intelligence? Well, thousands of years ago, Aristotle was one of the first people to describe emotion, and he defined it as the experiencing of pain or pleasure, sometimes both. Emotional intelligence is the quality of an individual to describe and recognize emotions in themselves and others, and to use that information to make efficient decisions. Now, Ramakrandan realized that pain was subjective. And in terms of pursuing emotional intelligence and my own mastery of it, as I've been studying it for the past year, one of the breakthroughs that I've had was realizing that this application was subjective, that the things that I feel, my pleasure and pain, are inherently subjective and therefore subject to influence. So, I've moved beyond simply describing my own emotions and recognizing when they occur in myself and others to recognizing that they're subjective. And for the phantom limb patients, it was the visual stimulus that was able to influence their opinion of what they were feeling and remove the pain that they experienced, psychological, physiological pain. For me, I've never been accused of missing a limb, but I have been accused of missing the organ that, for whatever reason, motivates you for hard work. So, in my experience, in reformulating that stimulus and conceptualizing things as part of a whole rather than the individual acts themselves, I'm able to transform the psychological pain that I might feel from either doing or considering doing something like database management or cleaning my house into a smaller part of a greater whole and something that does bring great pleasure, like having an efficient business or having a clean home, things like that. That's something I'd love to talk to you more about in March. I can go on about this for 15 minutes and I could talk to you for a long time. So thanks for your time.